Essentially, I got started with woodworking because I looked at the price of furniture. When I first moved here, I didn't have any furniture. I looked at furniture and I was like, I could probably make that for cheaper. And that's how I got started, basically. I've been coming to the makerspace here to do my woodworking so that I can have the space and the tools. Because when I first started doing woodworking, I lived in an apartment without any sort of outdoor area of my own, and so this was the only place that I could come outside, or well, go somewhere where I could have the space to actually do woodwork without getting my living room dusty. And also I didn't really have any tools when I started, so this gave me the opportunity to use the tools that I needed. I went to school as a mechanical engineer. I first found out about the Los Alamos Makerspace before I even moved here, because when I was thinking of moving here, I was looking at what was in Los Alamos, and I was already using a makerspace in Phoenix for 3D printing and vinyl cutting, and then so when I was moving here to Los Alamos, I wanted to see if there was a makerspace. I use a lot of the tools here. I use the miter saw here because it's a very useful tool. And then I also use the table saw and the jointer and the belt sander and the bandsaw. And then also there's a router here which I used extensively in making my table, and there's a lot of other little hand tools and various other smaller stuff that I use a lot too. So this is a coffee table that I made out of a stump. This was actually my first project, and I got the stump for free in Espanola. And I'm not sure what type of wood it is. It is about 5 feet by 3 feet. I had to flatten both sides of it. It's actually got the roots facing up, so the roots are supporting the glass, and I had to flatten it down. I used a router and a jig that I made in order to get a flat surface, and actually used a chainsaw to get it initially semi-flat. Actually the chainsaw I borrowed from somebody here at the makerspace that is just another member here. So people, if you talk to the people here, they're very helpful with any projects or anything. And so I initially got it flat with a chainsaw, and then I made a jig that I used to make sure that the router stayed level and flat, and then I just went back and forth tons of times with that, and it's a very, very slow process, that. So this is the jig that I made for making the coffee table, and I used it with scrap wood here at the makerspace that just you can have for free because it's scrap wood here. So when I was using it with the table, it actually had, these were full-length legs, and so it was kind of like a table without a top on it almost. And so then the stump fit right in the center, and then this is the sled, and it slides back and forth, and then you can run the router back and forth, and then you get mostly a flat flat surface, because this keeps it all level. It's really a really cool piece, and everybody that comes into my house is like comments on it within a few minutes of coming in. So this I made it out of maple The frame I was made out of maple, and then which I made here in the makerspace, and it's got miter joints, and then it has walnut splines, and to hold it more structurally. And it's inside of it, it's made out of poster board essentially that I cut by hand with a X-Acto knife. And then on the lights on the inside are LED strips that are around the edge of the frame, and I soldered the LED strips up here in the Los Alamos Makerspace. And then also there's plexiglass right here to kind of, protect it and give it a finished look.